I never fathomed the dramatic turn my life would take. My name is Ethan, and I was living what I believed to be an idyllic suburban life with my wife, Olivia. We'd been married for 8 years, built a beautiful home in a tranquil neighborhood, and from the outside, everything seemed perfect. However, the reality hidden behind our closed doors would eventually shatter that picture. Olivia and I, like any couple, experienced our share of highs and lows. She was a dynamic marketing executive, ambitious, sociable, and always on the move. I worked as a freelance web designer, which meant I spent most of my time working from home. I cherished the solitude, the rhythm of setting my own pace. Olivia, conversely, thrived on social interaction and vibrant energy. Initially, our differences complemented each other, but as time passed, it felt as though we were slowly growing apart. Our neighbor, Julian Thorne, moved in about a year prior. He was a charming man, close to our age, worked in property development, and was always eager to lend a hand in the community. He possessed an effortless charisma and a confident demeanor. Olivia and Julian formed a swift friendship. They shared a passion for fitness and often went for early morning runs together. At first, I didn't read too much into it. I trusted Olivia implicitly. However, subtle shifts began to occur. Olivia started coming home later and later from work, each time with a ready excuse: client dinners, networking events, or unexpected traffic snarls. When she was home, she seemed distant, preoccupied. We stopped sharing our evening meals. Our conversations became perfunctory, centered solely on household chores or financial matters. I tried to convince myself that we were simply navigating a rough patch. Then, one evening, I returned home from a quick trip to the grocery store and noticed that the living room curtains were drawn shut. This was unusual, as we rarely closed them so early in the day. As I stepped inside, I heard hushed whispers and the distinct sound of footsteps overhead. My heart began to race. I called out Olivia's name, and after a brief pause, she appeared at the top of the stairs, flustered and adjusting her hair. She explained that she had just stepped out of the shower, but something felt amiss. The faint scent of an unfamiliar cologne hung in the air. That night, sleep eluded me. My mind was a whirlwind of suspicions, doubts I desperately tried to suppress. I didn't want to believe that she was capable of infidelity. The following morning, I reviewed our home security footage, something I rarely did. At 11:47 a.m. the previous day, Olivia had let Julian into our home. He remained there for over an hour. They both departed shortly before my return. My stomach churned with a mix of disbelief and dread. I knew I couldn't confront her immediately. I needed irrefutable proof. Over the next week, I observed her closely. I glanced at her text messages when she left her phone unattended. There were exchanges with Julian, far too friendly, too intimate. I even overheard a hushed phone conversation late one night where she was whispering and giggling like a teenager smitten with first love. Finally, I reached my breaking point. One Sunday afternoon, I told Olivia that we needed to have a serious conversation. We sat facing each other in the living room, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. I asked her directly if there was something going on between her and Julian. Her eyes welled up with tears, and she avoided my gaze. That silence spoke volumes. She confessed. She admitted that it had begun with innocent flirtation and gradually evolved into something deeper. She expressed feeling neglected, unseen, and that Julian made her feel vibrant and alive again. I was consumed by a maelstrom of anger, hurt, and humiliation. Yet, in a strange way, I wasn't entirely surprised. The signs had been there, perhaps for months. I had simply chosen to ignore them. I packed a bag and stayed with a friend for a few days. I needed space to clear my head. I questioned everything: our marriage, my sense of self-worth, our future together. Olivia called and texted incessantly, expressing her remorse and pleading for forgiveness. She insisted that it was over with Julian, that she was committed to repairing the damage. A part of me yearned to believe her. 8 years is a significant investment to simply discard. But trust, once shattered, is incredibly difficult to piece back together. We attended couples therapy, and we attempted to rebuild our fractured bond. Some days were better than others, but the shadow of betrayal lingered, a constant reminder of our brokenness. As for Julian, he moved away 3 months later. Whether it was out of guilt or due to the palpable tension in the neighborhood, I never found out. We never spoke again. A year has now passed since that upheaval. Olivia and I are still together, but our marriage is irrevocably changed, more fragile, more cautious. We are both committed to personal growth and to mending our relationship. Sometimes love demands forgiving the seemingly unforgivable. Sometimes it means choosing to stay and fight, even when the allure of walking away seems far more appealing. This isn't a story with a neat, happy ending, but it's a story about the complexities of life, the devastation of heartbreak, and the arduous path we navigate toward healing and, perhaps, a different kind of love. I never imagined that I would be the one recounting this painful chapter, but perhaps someone out there needs to hear it, to know that they are not alone, and that even in the deepest despair, growth and transformation are possible.